dun 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 dun. Do 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 do. Dun 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 dun. InShalla and Ashe, blessings to you, my energetic beings, as we begin to be more spirit voiced or hearing the voices of spirit. It's the combination of receiving the message and hearing the message, or listening, just active listening. So it really is a combination of listening and feeling the energy in our bodies. So really choose the highway that connects to spirit for you. Sandalphon is online. So my Otherworldly podcast goes out on Monday. Be sure to check that out as well. But welcome to today's Daily Snippet. I, once again, am your host. I'm a practicing holistic Sha'medium and a subtle energetic surgeon, merging the indigenous technologies, the spirit of the Dagara tribe in Burkina Faso, with the subtle energies, elements, elemental beings, basically the elemental realm into the imaginal realm, with offerings, rituals, and prescriptions to really add to the juice, the medicine that you are in your personal container. But my intention really is to merge these indigenous technologies with these subtle realms through the etheric highway to really assist you into navigating your prime directive, your inner genius, part of your clan, just reintroducing you to and through what I call the magical being that resides within you. My name is Tonya D, and welcome to my virtual medicine room, if you will. And if you haven't already, please be kind and do subscribe to my YouTube channel, Tonya D, or pretty much any of my channels really. But if you are on YouTube, go ahead and hit the bell so you're notified. And also, if you don't mind, liking and commenting on the videos so the YouTube algorithm will really echo out and suggest me to other like-minded musers in the galactic universe. So we have today the messages from the oracles. Oracles are the diviners, the soothsayers. They're women, wise women, sages, seers, medicine people, really. But as always, the first message, because I've been pulling 4 cards, the first message is coming from the south direction, and we have the south. So this is something that we need to let go of, the staff, which I don't know about you, but I have a few staffs that are coming together. I love them. And being that it's a symbol of authority, it kind of reminds me of Lord of the Rings and the wizards that have their staffs. It really holds the power to kind of temper the extremities, if you will. And it helps us to find the correct course of action and the way of the middle ground, the middle way, just assisting us to maintain balance after we begin walking the path in whatever direction that might be. But muse about those that have carried a staff, you know, the wise people, the spirit people that walk the path of spirit. You know, Moses had a staff. And it's through the energy of the staff that we can summon the power to heal through nature's garden, the earth's star, and the heavens, actually, the heavenly realm. But it's reminding us of all the nothing's impermanent, right? Of all the things. And that our inner authority really needs to come from our deep longing to serve, possibly another incarnation. It's our purpose to serve. And being that the staff itself is otherworldly, the message is in the medicine. If you feel like you're caught in the balance, a delicate balance between forces, generative and degenerative, the yin and the yang, the action, the non-action. And just know non-action is really an action. But we can use this to our advantage. There is no light without dark. There's no night without the day. There's no right without the wrong. No lows without the highs, etc., etc. So it really is a message of taking the correct action, beginning with our own beliefs about what needs to be fixed or reciprocated, recycled, just allowing destiny herself to take its course, kind of nudging us along ever so slightly. So that's kind of the message there, if you will. And then we move on to the Rainmaker, which I love. You can see like the wings of time and space, kind of the number 42, I believe. Yeah. So that's like feelings and belonging in the corridor with our ability to open up to receive the numerology there. But the Rainmaker is in the west. So this is a part of us that needs to die. It could be an old story, literally, that we need to let go of so we can rewrite a new chapter of our life story. And the Rainmaker is like this master of manifesting, the rains coming down, right? Getting in the flow, you know. And you can call on the elements of nature to serve to the highest of the highest, the galactic good. So it's when this power, we have this power to co-create, but when we use it with integrity, the landscape is just has more bounty, more beauty, and it actually, everyone's in the flow and it's the benefit of everyone. So when this power is used for personal gain only, that's when the village basically suffers. So it's like benefits versus the cost, or what is the benefit and at what cost does it come in at? So there's always a cost, right? Whether it's energetically, financially, emotionally, etc. There's a cost. So when the earth herself is like dry, right? A dry earth, that's when we can call in the Rainmaker, the waters in from the heavenly realm, and all that is laying dormant in the fields or in our hearts, wherever things are dormant. I'm kind of thinking of in hibernation. That's when things tend to spring to life. So we're kind of being called to create something new from the elementals that are already in our life. So be sure to work with what that is for you and not with what might or could have been, the coulda, woulda, shouldas. Those are like resentments. They affect our meridians, the gallbladder meridian mostly. Energy, right? I'm talking about energy. Make sure I clarify that. But in doing so, you know, these seeds have been they're germinating. They're like bursting through in our heart space. They're ready to come out into the galactic sun. So really don't hold back and put all your chips on the table and roll the dice of the divine otherworldly dice, the galactic corridor. So we're kind of going to be heading to the north now, which this is like all these cards just really lined up today. But the north, we have the Luminous Warrior, the wisdom. He is the wisdom. We don't need to gather anymore. He is the light in a way. So it's like the lessons that we've learned from the south and the west. And hopefully we have learned those lessons. They're probably karmic, being that we're in the season of Pisces. But we're kind of getting in touch with them. So it's like, what is the wisdom? What is the innate nature within us that really needs to grow and mature and evolve? You know, what is our greatest medicine that we need to embrace, and are we ready for it? And in the Dagara cosmology, we each carry a medicine. We each come from a clan or belong with a certain clan that's highlighted, but there are other assets that we can add to the juice. But to the north, we have the Luminous Warrior, if you will, which we've had messages from this card before. And being that the Luminous Warrior is otherworldly, what that is, sorry, I was checking out the card. So his card is all about our beliefs and our feelings. So do what we believe and our feelings kind of resonate, and then are we mindful of those? That's kind of the energies of those numbers. But being that he is otherworldly, you know, it's like we don't really have enemies in this world or in the next, but he's impeccable with his word. He really has integrity, basically. And he's focusing on his light rather than hiding in those shadows. He's not casting the shadows because he is radiant. He's like the sun. So he's like this yang energy. He can transform an enemy into an ally, which I talked about the negatives and the positives and turning a negative into a positive. Negative anythings we can actually shift into an ally. But his power doesn't come from his sword. It comes from speaking his truth at all costs, which, you know, sometimes the truth feels like it hurts, but sometimes it's a necessity, it's necessary. But being that he's otherworldly, the medicine or the querent, we're being kind of tempted by our emotions to follow our lower instincts possibly, or are we being invited to enter into a quarrel with somebody else? So kind of put your sword away. It's not the time for battle. Our enemy usually and oftentimes isn't who we think it is. Our mind kind of unravels things and creates our chaos. So really don't act from a place of anger. That's just going to damage all the relationships, personal, intimate, work, etc. Or it's going to hurt the people in our village that we authentically care for. So kind of find that authentic truth that might be hiding in your heart space, in the chambers of your heart, and affirm your instincts for peace rather than war. So the East kind of can come in there when we collaborate with our inner peace, actually. And that's kind of the energy of the day too. The cosmic energy is peace, which we'll get to. But the east energy, this is our possible destiny. It's like what we can do when we get into the flow. So it's the way we're going to share these treasures and our gifts and our personal medicine with others. You know, we are our own medicine in the village. So the corn, I've shared this card before, the corn, but to me it's like the harvest. It's the summer, it's the bounty, it's sustenance, it's something tangible, it's abundance. So it kind of represents material prosperity in the world. It creates a form, it provides stability and sustenance to the many, to a lot, whether I use it in an offering or cooking with corn or whatever you're doing, right? So knowing that there is more than enough to kind of go around. So that's kind of the invitation. We've planted our field of dreams, our corn, and we're working towards the dreams in the dream space. Even in moments sometimes when we feel like we're losing faith, and we're in the season of Pisces, so faith is also highlighted. Faith, compassion, being merciful, forgiving, you know. And even if we had those moments where we were kind of getting off our faith path, we still kind of continued on our journey. So the spirit of corn really is coming to honor this and show us the bounty, the harvest, our own personal bounty. So it's kind of like a message that we can reap the rewards, knowing that our hard work is coming to fruition, to trust, otherworldly trust actually, and just trust whether the rewards come in. It could be financial, it could be a different kind of prosperity. I would rather have quality over quantity. I actually had some women with my son because they didn't think I spent enough time with him, but I know a lot of people that are home mothers that it's not about the quality, it's just the quantity. They're there, but it's not the same frequency, right? But also just knowing that we are blessed, be in a state of gratitude. So when the symbol appears energetically, just don't forget to share our good fortune, our treasures, and our gifts to those around us in our galactic corridor. And for you, Tina, if you're listening to today's show, I pulled a card for you. Water, which is interesting. The 6 and the 1 are actually in the Dagara. Those are water energies, but 6 is the ability to open up and receive, and the 1 is our heart, it's our sun. So there's all these little it's a playground actually for me. But water, part of the reason you get this, thanks for liking, sharing, and commenting. It really helps with the algorithm out to echo into the universe. But with my little eye, I spy the universe is a bounty in itself. But water in the Dagara cosmology, that really is peace. It's reconciliation. It's getting in the flow of things. And water is sustenance. You know, we were in the womb, in the waters of the earth, the water of the rivers, the water that comes down from the heavens, the sky in the form of rain or snow. And again, it's peace and it's reconciliation. It symbolizes so much because there is so much water, right? I see the galaxy as water. Neptune is the galactic frontier ocean, if you will, the galaxy, as well as the physical earth plane ocean. But water, it symbolizes like purification, regeneration, revival, cleansing. It's a shift from our former self, literally coming out of the womb, to enter into our new self, like birthing anew. So there are a lot of stories about, you know, the floodings around the world. And water in itself, it really begins without boundaries. You have to have earth to create a boundary around water. Even streams, you know, or rocks, you have to have guidance streams, even at crossroads. But as soon as the form has separated itself from the water, then it becomes under the guise of the laws of time and life. And that's when we acquire those limitations. But being that water has arrived for you, it's like you're being invited to watch your emotions, feel your emotions, and know that they're always changeable, right? So don't settle on a conclusion at this moment. If you feel joy, feel that joy fully. If you feel sadness, allow sadness to just move through you. So water is really inviting you to ebb in the flow of events and trusting that you can ride those waves of opportunity when that arises, and just natural flow is kind of the message here. So really go with the flow. I would probably suggest that you go do an offering or a ritual to the waters around you, the moving waters, if you have a river, a creek, etc. to really assist you into getting into your own cosmic natural flow. You could even speak positivity, something positive, affirm something positive into the water and then drink it. Could be lemon water, doesn't really matter, the frequency of water. But so that optimism really sparks the joy in your cells down to your bones even. I hope that helps. And then we have on the elemental highway, which is also curious. The elemental world is actually quite fascinating once you start playing around with it, really. But we have a young earth monkey of a day, a Wu Shen day. So we have some metal in our day. There's lots of young earth as well, which is the earth master, if you will. It's our day master. But the earth, the young earth, is actually in storage and hidden deep. But also monkeys and tigers clash, however. They don't get along. So this might be a scratchy kind of day, that yang energy. And I sense the tigers being there. Spring, the tigers are going to get it. And we're in winter chicken dinner here, right? The spring. So it's a very yang day, our outer world. It's our lifestyle, things outside of us. So we really need to go inward, yin energy, inward journey. If you haven't checked out Soliciting Solitude, it's at its regular offer price now. All my things are all at angel numbers, by the way. Angelic pricing is kind of what I went with. However, even though it's still a bounty there, I have all of my online meditations in that library. But during the Tiger month, the earth is still chilled from the winter. It's hard to break through the earth when it's still cold outside. I keep getting skiffs of snow every day. I'm tired of the chill, I'm not going to lie. But the wood, being spring, the energy of the tiger is very, very strong. And it's also wet, and it's controlling the energy of the earth. So our main element, the young earth on the day, that's called the day master, it's weak, believe it or not. So the fire, the young fire, is really the most needed element to bring more warmth to our day. So water is also needed to provide that moisture. And the young metal, the monkey, the Shen, that's going to keep our wood, our tiger, somewhat in control. But we got two of those babies, and they're both pretty strong. But that's going to produce also more water. So water, being that it is excessive, we got a lot of yang water up there. I would go with fire today, actually. And the energy of earth could also be useful. So earth, being that our day is earth, friends and support is in storage, literally. So our day doesn't have access to them. And our monkey, that young metal, that's going to, it's going to the fire element within the earth. It's either extinguishing it or it's very weak. But our day, the monkey does support our day. Or no, our monkey is depleting our day because earth produces metal, houses it, right? So we need more fire to counteract this metal frequency. And the tiger energy, wood could help to support the fire and to challenge the metal. But knowing that our fire energy is weak and it's hidden, it's not controlled or able to control. So these metal energies, they can't be properly utilized, if you will, because of this. So fire really needs to be stimulated to bring balance. It really is the element we need. And it's going to remove the excess energy from the wood. And being that wood and metal, they're both strong. They're in conflict with each other. They're scratchy. They're fighting. There really isn't a leader in this chart, being that there's a major conflict between the wood and the metal frequencies, the monkey and the tiger. So they could cause just various issues, being that the wood energy is going to be unstable. So its roots have no foundation. It doesn't have a grasp. I've talked about that the whole season, really. So we do need some dry earth and some wet earth, more dry earth than wet. But being that we don't have a strong fire element, it can't exhaust all that excessive wood energy. It's not productive. So the elements of today, I would go with probably wet or dry earth and also fire. Fire is, it's going to exhaust the wood and keep the monkey, who is kind of fidgety, and the tiger from pouncing on each other. So it's going to produce more of the earth and keep the metal and the wood elements kind of supervised in a way, under some supervision. spirit supervision. So I would probably light a yellow candle, because that's fire and earth. And before we journey too far out through our day, today really is a day to go inward on our journey, to meditate, invest in ourselves first. Just pay attention to what's like going on your insides, your feelings, your heart, your frequency, your body, and just kind of be aware of anything that might be throwing you off balance. So it really is a day to find our inner peace and restore balance on our inside. Just so you know, even if our thoughts are creating chaos, and oftentimes they do, really take time and take space and literally just flick away any negativity, put it on the shelf, really do whatever it takes to put you in a place of serenity, a place of peace. Take a hot bath, salt, right? Just reconciling ourselves in our inner garden, our sacred soul. And oftentimes, when we are balanced on the inside, we come from a place of neutrality. We are centered. So we're going to have that balance kind of show up on the inside. And being that we're in the season of Pisces, it's all about our karmic lessons, our karmic evolution, those lessons, our spiritual acumen, if you will. You know, we always have these two forces. So just be open to the energy of your subconscious realm, your dream space, the feelings of them, the histories of our lifetime in our lineage, our ancestral line. Those might actually rise to the surface, kind of bubbling through like a spring, you know. And you might even have where you have the memories that go so far into our bones. Sometimes we might remember that we weren't kind to ourselves in another timeline, or even in this one. So really forgive yourself, be compassionate, be kind, and just clear the karmic cosmic cobwebs, say that 5 times, out of the closet, you know. Do you know when sometimes, you know, I know it's hard to let go, but really open up your heart corridor, your heart to receive and accept the light from the universe. That really has been a shift and a change for me. I literally realized that I have trouble. I'm fine with giving, but opening to receive, it's like, whoa. It goes back to the benefit and the cost. Is this receiving going to cost me something? So it's an energetic hiccup for me. I'm just hyper aware of that. But we need to shift and change and be in a state of balance and bringing balance and harmony to ourselves and all of these aspects, so they become an asset, whether it's in the body, the mind, the spirit, the soul, etc. All of the above, really. So it really is a day to be fair, to be balanced with our spiritual aspect, and just open up our heart to be more loving to ourselves. You might even find areas where you've been ignoring yourself, where you may have pushed too hard, put things under the rug. Maybe you're self-critical, self-judging. But instead of going down that rabbit hole, just really stay in the zone of neutrality, heart-centric, believing in yourself and believing in treating yourself better and better. And just kind of pay attention to ways that you can heal those aspects that you have within yourself. And kind of literally, it's about switching the subscription dial. That's kind of how I see that. But sometimes our outer world will bring up issues that come up on a day like today. So it really is the learning curve around that karmic lesson to see how we treat ourselves when we're in a relationship with ourself or the other, and how that feels. And if we don't like the feeling, sometimes it's time to let it go. You have to let go of the relationship too sometimes. Even getting a new career, a new vehicle, sometimes it's in the releasing of the letting go. It's kind of like a surrendering. That suffering ends. So we can treat ourselves better. We know how we should be treated, right? Instead of allowing others to treat us in certain ways, it's time that we really open the door to our spiritual acumen and treat ourselves better. And then what happens is ultimately we attract people who treat us how our heart believes in our life story, our personal life story. So in our day, as it unfolds, as we're turning the pages and reading the paragraphs, if you will, we should be in a state of harmony, peace, and balance, new beginnings, birthing the new. It really is an opportunity to collaborate with spirit and relate differently. I would say maybe have a galactic universe conversation, a spirit to spirit, be in that meditative state, and honor your self-healing with that spiritual connection, just allowing source to flood you with light and just remove all those shadow aspects that's false evidence anyway, affecting our day-to-day story. But with our throat center online, along with our crown, we really have the juice to have that spirit to spirit conversation. So it's like sitting in silence. You could say a prayer, an invocation, whatever you want to call it. Call in your ancestors. I talk to my mom all the time, and some people that have transcended the earth plane during this current incarnation. So all of the time. So it doesn't really matter who you want to converse with. They do wish oftentimes that we would call upon them, and just the signs and the sigils and the symbols. It's kind of like this open dialect of communication. It's like listening. Listening is the key to access this. And then those sigils, they really come in. So we have the heat of fire, the ha, and we also have the sound of earth, the hu. The hu, but it's more like the guttural hu. The Mongolian rock band, check them out. I'm telling you, they are hellfire, and their sound is incredible. It's very grounding and connecting. You could even listen to the sound of a crackling fire, the sound of the heart, the throat, the hum, the tonality. And all these sounds are in the show notes, but there are other sounds, however. I use the seed sounds, but there are always more. Even the sounds of crickets, they have a melody. It's this otherworldly orchestra, if you will, and I totally love them. How they just can shift your vibration in the middle of the night, like you're being coddled on the waves of crickets. But as an affirmation, I would affirm that I am open to receiving those guided messages from Source, and that you are listening. And just being that the moon is in the middle of the decan of Sagittarius, it's like, what are you feeling that you believe? And do you believe in the feeling? And is your heart open to the feeling to believe it? And I would just really allow Spirit to assist you in all of this. And also, I will not be doing the snippet this weekend. I will be in my immersion. Once again, Voices of the Otherworld this weekend, the elemental earth. So no snippet. And also, I will be continuing the Journey of Dreams in the Sacred Circle, my Musing with Tonya D, my Facebook group. But that also might be moving over to Circle. It's literally called Circle, but I will be keeping you posted on that as well. So InShalla and Ashe, make it a peace-filled day. Blessings to you, and I will see you on the other side, being tomorrow.